The metal halls of the Galactic Military Academy echoed with the sounds of hundreds of cadets rushing to their morning classes. Among them walked Lisa Reed, a 19-year-old human from Earth with dark hair pulled back in a tight bun. She was shorter than most cadets but moved with a confidence that made others step aside. "Late again, Reed?" called out her roommate Jax, a blue-skinned alien from the water moon of Terrace. "Not today," Lisa replied with a smile. "Today is too important." The Joint Strategy class was the most prestigious course at the Academy. Only the top cadets from each species were allowed to attend, and today was special. General Crone of the Vexian Empire would be leading the session. The Vexians were known throughout the galaxy as master tacticians, their gray-scaled skin and tall frames marking them as one of the oldest spacefaring races. Lisa took her seat near the back of the lecture hall. Although she had ranked first, in her class humans were still new to the galactic community. Most alien species viewed them as weak, primitive, and unworthy of respect. Lisa had learned to keep her head down and let her work speak for itself. The room fell silent as General Crone entered. His imposing 7-foot frame seemed to fill the doorway, his scales gleaming under the bright lights. 4 silver badges on his chest showed his high rank. His yellow eyes scanned the room with obvious disdain. "So these are the best minds the Academy has to offer," he said, his voice deep and cold. "I see the standards have fallen since my time as a cadet." For the next hour, Crone explained a battle strategy the Vexians had used to defeat the Zorgan fleet 20 years ago. The holographic display in the center of the room showed ships moving in complex patterns. Lisa watched carefully, noticing something that didn't make sense. "The simulation is impressive," Crone concluded. "This strategy has never failed. No enemy has ever found a weakness in it." Lisa's hand rose slowly into the air. She knew she should stay quiet, but the mistake was too obvious to ignore. "What is it, human?" Crone asked, spitting the last word like it tasted bad. Lisa stood, her heart racing. "Sir, with respect, there seems to be a flaw in the formation's left flank. If the enemy deployed smaller, faster ships in this sector," she pointed to the hologram, "they could break through here and target your command vessels." The room went completely silent. No one had ever questioned General Crone's strategies. Crone's yellow eyes narrowed. "You dare to criticize Vexian military tactics? What would a human know of space warfare? Your people were still burning fossil fuels when my ancestors conquered the stars." "I'm only pointing out what I see, sir," Lisa said, trying to keep her voice steady. "The simulation shows a clear vulnerability." Commander Thomas Miller, the human officer in charge of the Academy, shifted uncomfortably at the front of the room. He knew how dangerous this situation could become. Vexians were proud and easily offended. "Perhaps we should move on to the next topic," Miller suggested. But Crone was already moving down the aisle toward Lisa. The other cadets leaned away as he passed, fear evident on their faces. "Run the simulation again," Crone ordered. "Show the attack pattern this human suggests." The technician quickly adjusted the hologram. Everyone watched as small enemy ships targeted the exact spot Lisa had identified. Within moments, the simulation showed the Vexian formation breaking apart as key command ships were destroyed. Crone's face darkened to a deep gray. Being proven wrong by a human cadet in front of the entire class was more than his pride could bear. He stood directly in front of Lisa now, looking down at her from his great height. "This simulation is flawed," he hissed. "No real battle would unfold this way." "The math doesn't lie, sir," Lisa replied quietly. "I meant no disrespect." What happened next occurred so quickly that many cadets later disagreed about the exact sequence of events. General Crone raised his hand and swung it toward Lisa's face, with enough force to knock a normal human unconscious. But Lisa was not normal, even by human standards. Growing up in Earth's higher gravity had given humans certain advantages they were only beginning to understand. Lisa's reflexes acted before her mind could process the danger. Her right hand shot up, catching Crone's wrist just inches from her face. Her grip tightened instinctively. There was a sharp crack that echoed through the silent room. Crone roared, in pain and surprise, stumbling backward. His wrist hung at an unnatural angle, clearly broken. Green blood dripped onto the polished floor. Lisa stood frozen, horrified by what she had done. The room erupted in chaos. She attacked a general! Did you see how fast she moved? Someone call medical! Commander Miller rushed forward, placing himself between Lisa and the injured Vexian. Everyone stay calm. Cadets, return to your quarters immediately. Security officers burst into the room, some attending to the howling general while others surrounded Lisa. I didn't mean to, she whispered, looking at her hand as if it belonged to someone else. He was going to hit me. I just reacted. Miller grabbed her arm. Not another word, Reed. This is serious. His face was grim. We need to get you out. Of here. As they left the lecture hall, Lisa could feel hundreds of eyes on her back. The news would spread through the academy in minutes and across the galaxy in hours. A human cadet had broken the wrist of a Vexian general. It was unheard of. In the commander's office, Lisa sat stiffly in a chair while Miller paced back and forth. Do you have any idea what you've done? He asked finally. I defended myself, Lisa said. He was going to strike me. This isn't about right or wrong anymore, Miller replied, running a hand through his graying hair. The Vexians control 3 major trading routes between Earth and the core worlds. They have one of the largest fleets in the galaxy, and you just humiliated one of their highest-ranking officers. A light on Miller's desk blinked urgently. My emergency communication channel was lighting up with incoming messages from Earth Command. It's already reaching the highest levels, he muttered. What will happen to me? Lisa asked, her voice small. Before Miller could answer, his assistant burst in without knocking. Sir, you need to see this, he said, activating a screen on the wall. The video showed the incident from multiple angles, captured by the classroom security cameras. Lisa's impossible speed, the precision of her grip, the shocked faces of the witnesses, all in high definition. And below the video, a counter showed how many times it had been shared across the galactic network. 10 million views, and climbing rapidly. They're calling it the slap that started a war, the assistant said. Miller turned to Lisa, his expression grave. The Vexian ambassador has already demanded your immediate surrender to their custody. Earth has refused. Over one incident? Lisa asked incredulously. This isn't just about today, Miller said quietly. Relations with the Vexians have been tense for years. They've never respected humans, never seen us as equals. Today you showed them something they didn't expect. And there's nothing more dangerous than fear of the unknown. Outside the window, Lisa could see unusual activity as Academy security patrols doubled. In the distance, a military transport was landing, likely sent to collect her. You'll be moved to a secure location tonight, Miller confirmed. The diplomatic teams will try to smooth this over, but he trailed off. But what? Lisa pressed. Miller looked at her with tired eyes. But I think you just became the most famous human in the galaxy, Reed. And not in a good way. As darkness fell outside, Lisa watched the first news reports coming in. The headlines flashed one after another. Human cadet attacks Vexian general. Earth refuses to surrender. Reed to Vexian justice. Vexian fleet movements detected near Earth. Space. Is war inevitable? Lisa's simple act of self-defense had ignited a spark. She couldn't possibly know that it would soon burst into flames that would engulf the entire galaxy. 3 days after the incident, Lisa sat alone in a small room deep inside Earth's defense headquarters. The walls were bare metal, with only a bed, desk, and small window showing the glow of city lights far below. This was her third, safe location since leaving the academy. A screen on the wall played the news constantly. Lisa couldn't escape the images of herself, replayed over and over across every channel in the galaxy. The moment her hand caught Krone's wrist, the sound of breaking bone, the look of shock on the general's face. The door slid open and Commander Miller entered. He looked tired, with dark circles under his eyes. How are you holding up, Reed? He asked, taking a seat opposite her. Like someone who accidentally started a war, Lisa replied. Is it true what they're saying about the Vexian fleet? Miller nodded grimly. 30 battleships have moved to positions along our outer colonies. They're calling it a defensive posture, but we know better. He placed a tablet on the desk between them. It showed messages from the Vexian High Command. They're demanding you be handed over for trial on their homeworld, Miller explained. The charge is assault on a military officer, which carries the death penalty under Vexian law. Lisa's mouth went dry. And Earth's response? Absolute refusal. President Alvarez released a statement this morning defending your actions as self-defense. She's demanded an apology from the Vexians for Krone's behavior. Lisa shook her head in disbelief. All this over a slap and a broken wrist? Miller's expression darkened. This was never about just a slap, Reed. The Vexians have viewed humans as a potential threat since we joined the Galactic Alliance. We develop faster than other species, adapt more quickly. They've been looking for an excuse to put us in our place. On the screen, a new report showed protests erupting across Earth's colonies. Humans holding signs with Lisa's face and slogans like, "Stand strong," and "Humans won't bow." In contrast, images from Vexian worlds showed her picture being burned, while crowds chanted for war. I've become a symbol, Lisa said quietly. For better or worse, Miller agreed. There's something else you should see. He switched the screen to show a medical facility. Inside a transparent chamber lay General Krone, his broken wrist now encased in a complex medical device. Doctors of various species clustered around him examining data. The Vexians released this footage, Miller explained. They claim your grip exceeded the bone-crushing strength of a crawl beast. They're saying humans have been hiding their true physical capabilities. That's ridiculous, Lisa protested. I'm not even the strongest in my class. It was just reflex and leverage. A soft knock at the door interrupted them. A young officer entered, looking nervous. Sir, the Galactic Alliance Council is ready for the hearing. They're requesting Cadet Reed's presence via secure channel. Miller stood. This is it, Reed. The Council will decide whether to intervene in this dispute. Be honest, be respectful, but don't apologize for defending yourself. The screen shifted to show the Council chamber, a vast, circular room where representatives from 50 spacefaring civilizations gathered to maintain galactic peace. At the center stood two podiums, one occupied by Ambassador Lox, the Vexian representative, and the other empty, waiting for Lisa. The Council Elder, an ancient being with translucent skin, spoke first. This emergency session addresses the incident between human cadet Lisa Reed and Vexian General Krone. Both parties will present their account, after which the Council will determine a course of action. Lisa stood before the camera, her image projected onto the empty podium thousands of light years away. Her heart raced, knowing that billions across the galaxy were watching. Ambassador Lox spoke first, his voice sharp and accusing. General Krone, a decorated hero of the Vexian Empire, was viciously attacked while performing his duties as a guest instructor. The human deliberately shattered his wrist, causing permanent damage and public humiliation. We demand justice according to our laws. The Council Elder turned to Lisa. Cadet Reed, please give your account. Lisa took a deep breath. I meant no harm to General Krone. During class, I identified a flaw in a battle strategy he presented. When I pointed this out, he became angry and attempted to strike me. I reacted instinctively to protect myself, catching his wrist. I did not intend to cause injury. Murmurs spread through the council chamber. Ambassador Lox hissed in disagreement. The evidence clearly shows premeditated violence, he insisted. Furthermore, the human displayed strength that far exceeds what their species has claimed to possess. We believe Earth has been deceiving the Alliance about their true capabilities. A new figure approached the Vexian podium, General Krone himself, his arm still in a medical device. The chamber fell silent. I have served the Empire for 40 years, Krone said, his voice strained. Never have I witnessed such disrespect and violence from a cadet. This human challenged my authority, embarrassed me before a class of students. then attacked when I attempted to discipline her. Anger flashed through Lisa. That's not true. You tried to hit me. I defended myself. The council elder raised a hand for silence. We have reviewed the visual evidence. The recordings show General Crone moving to strike Cadet Reed, who then caught his wrist. A proper response would have been to dodge, Crone argued. Breaking my wrist was an excessive use of force. Before Lisa could respond, Earth's ambassador stepped forward. My fellow council members, this incident has been greatly exaggerated. A teacher attempted to strike a student. The student defended herself. This is not cause for military mobilization or diplomatic crisis. It is when the student reveals that humans possess dangerous physical abilities. Ambassador Locks countered. What other secrets is Earth hiding? The debate continued for hours. Lisa remained standing, watching as her simple act of self-defense was dissected by politicians and military experts. Some council members supported Earth's position, while others sided with the Vexians. When the session finally ended, the council announced its decision. We find insufficient evidence to support the Vexian demand for Cadet Reed's extradition. However, Earth must agree to a full assessment of human physical capabilities to determine if previous disclosures have been accurate. Ambassador Lox's face twisted with rage. The Vexian Empire rejects this decision. We will pursue our own measures to ensure justice. With that, he stormed from the chamber, followed by all Vexian representatives. Back in her room, Lisa watched as Miller shut off the screen. What happens now? She asked. Now we prepare, Miller said grimly. The Vexians won't let this go. They've already recalled their ambassadors from Earth and closed their borders to our ships. Lisa's tablet chimed with a notification. She looked down to see a message from Jax, her academy roommate. Everyone's choosing sides. The academy is splitting apart. Half the aliens say humans are dangerous. The others think the Vexians are bullies. Be careful, Lisa. Miller received an alert on his communicator. His face paled as he read it. What is it? Lisa asked. Reports from our outer colonies, he said. Vexian warships have begun boarding and searching Earth vessels for hidden weapons technology. 3 merchant ships have been seized. Lisa felt the weight of responsibility crushing down on her. All because I broke one wrist. No, Miller corrected her. Because the Vexians found what they've been looking for, an excuse. This was inevitable, Reed. If not your incident, they would have found another spark to light this fire. Outside the window, Lisa could see military vehicles moving through the streets of Earth's capital. In orbit above, defense platforms were being activated for the first time in decades. The news feed showed a final headline before Miller turned it off. Vexian Emperor Drax issues ultimatum. Surrender, Reed, or face consequences. The diplomatic phase was ending. War was coming. And Lisa Reed, the human cadet who had only wanted to study at the academy, now found herself at the very center of a galactic conflict. The underground military facility buzzed with activity. 2 weeks had passed since the Galactic Council hearing, and Earth was now on full war footing. Lisa followed Commander Miller through steel corridors filled with soldiers rushing to their posts. Where are we going? She asked, struggling to keep up with his quick pace. To meet someone who might help us understand what's happening. Miller replied, his voice tight with stress. They entered a large laboratory where scientists in white coats worked at various stations. In the center stood a woman with short gray hair and intense eyes. Dr. Helen Morris, the lead scientist for Earth's Defense Research Division. This is her? Dr. Morris asked, studying Lisa with open curiosity. Miller nodded. Cadet Lisa Reed, meet Dr. Morris. She's been analyzing the data from your incident with General Crone. There's data? Lisa asked, confused. More than you know, Dr. Morris said, leading them to a large screen. The Academy records everything: heart rates, muscle, tension, neural activity. We have a complete biometric profile of what happened when you broke the general's wrist. The screen displayed 2 figures, Lisa and Crone. Numbers and graphs surrounded them, tracking every bodily function during the incident. Normal human grip strength averages about 100 pounds of pressure, Dr. Morris explained. Elite athletes might reach 150. Your grip, Cadet Reed, measured at just over 300 pounds, enough to crush the bone of a Vexian whose skeleton is denser than ours. Lisa stared at the data in disbelief. That's impossible. I'm not that strong. Not normally, no, Dr. Morris agreed. But under threat, your body produced massive amounts of adrenaline and activated muscle fibers that humans typically can't access consciously. Miller crossed his arms. So what the Vexians are saying is true? Humans are stronger than we've claimed? Not exactly, Dr. Morris said. We're stronger than we knew. Earth's higher gravity has been shaping our evolution for generations, but living among alien species with lower gravity standards, we never realized our full potential. She switched the screen to show medical scans of different humans. We've tested hundreds of Earth-born humans in the past week. Nearly all show the same capacity for enhanced strength, speed, and reflexes when properly triggered. It's a survival adaptation we developed without realizing it. Lisa felt a chill run down her spine. Is that why the Vexians wanted me handed over so badly? They discovered what humans can do? Precisely, said a new voice from the doorway. They turned to see Admiral James Bennett, the head of Earth's Defense Forces. His uniform bore the marks of someone who hadn't slept in days. The Vexians have been studying humans since we joined the Alliance, Bennett explained. They've known about our potential for years. General Crone's assignment at the Academy wasn't to teach. It was to test human capabilities by provoking incidents. Was set up? Lisa asked, anger rising in her voice. The slap was meant to measure your reaction time, Bennett confirmed. But Crone didn't expect you to break his wrist. He expected you to cower or dodge, giving them data but not revealing our true strength to the rest of the galaxy, Miller swore under his breath. So this whole conflict was inevitable, Bennett finished. The Vexians have been preparing for war with humanity for years. They see us as a future threat because of our adaptive capabilities. Your incident just moved up their timeline. An alarm blared overhead. Red lights flashed along the corridors. What's happening? Lisa asked, her heart pounding. Bennett touched his earpiece, listening to a report. His face darkened. Vexian forces have crossed into the Proxima Centauri system. They've attacked our colony there. How bad? Miller asked. 2,000 civilian casualties reported already, Bennett replied grimly. This isn't a border skirmish anymore, it's full-scale war. Dr. Morris turned to Lisa. That's why you're here, Cadet. We need to understand exactly what humans are capable of if we're going to survive this conflict. For the next several days, Lisa and other selected cadets underwent intensive testing. Scientists measured their strength, speed, and endurance under various conditions. The results were astonishing. When properly trained, humans could lift 3 times what they thought possible. Their reaction times could match the fastest alien species in the galaxy. Their bones, dense from Earth's gravity, could withstand impacts that would shatter other life forms. We've been living below our potential, Dr. Morris explained as Lisa completed another round of tests. Our bodies developed these abilities naturally, but our minds limited us because we didn't believe such strength was possible. Meanwhile, the war expanded rapidly. News reports showed Vexian warships attacking human colonies while Earth forces scrambled to defend them. Other alien species began to take sides, some joining the Vexians out of fear of human potential, others allying with Earth against Vexian aggression. On the 10th day at the facility, Commander Miller found Lisa in the training room, where she was learning to consciously access her enhanced abilities. The Admiral wants to see you, he said, his expression unreadable. In the command center, Admiral Bennett stood before a large tactical display showing the movement of fleets across the galaxy. Parts of the map glowed red, indicating battle zones. Cadet Reed, Bennett said when he saw her. Or should I say Lieutenant Reed now? Sir? Lisa asked, confused. You've been given a field promotion, he explained. Effective immediately, you'll be joining a special tactical unit comprised of enhanced humans. I haven't even finished my academy training, Lisa protested. None of that matters anymore, Bennett replied. We're fighting for survival now, And you, Lieutenant Reed, have become too valuable to keep hidden away. He pointed to the map, where a large Vexian fleet was gathering near Jupiter. In 2 days, they will attempt to break through our defenses and reach Earth. Your team will be deployed to a key defensive position. Lisa felt the weight of responsibility settle over her, from cadet to soldier in just a few weeks. There's something else you should see, Miller said quietly, activating a different screen. It showed General Crone, but he was changed. His broken wrist had been replaced with a cybernetic arm that glowed with energy. He stood before a crowd of Vexian soldiers holding up the mechanical limb. The humans have revealed their true nature, Crone shouted. They have hidden among us, pretending to be weak while developing their strength in secret. There can be no peace with such deceptive creatures. The crowd roared in agreement, weapons raised. He's turned his injury into propaganda, Miller said. And it's working. Vexian recruitment has tripled since this broadcast. Lisa watched the screen, remembering the moment in the classroom that had changed everything. One instinctive act of self-defense had cascaded into galactic war. It's not your fault, Dr. Morris said, seeing Lisa's expression. This conflict was coming no matter what. The Vexians feared what humans might become. Now they fear what we already are. Admiral Bennett turned off the screen. Lieutenant Reed, meet your team. 5 humans entered the room, each wearing the new combat suits designed to work with their enhanced abilities. They all had the same determined look in their eyes. These soldiers have all shown the same abilities you have, Bennett explained. Together, you'll form Talon Squad, our first enhanced human combat unit. A young man with short blonde hair stepped forward. Lieutenant Alex Parker, sir. We've all seen what happened at the academy. None of us blame you. Lisa looked at her new team, then back at the war map with its spreading red zones of conflict. When do we deploy, she asked. Tomorrow, Bennett replied. We've received intelligence that General Crone himself will be leading the attack on Jupiter Station. He's made this personal, Lieutenant. Lisa nodded, feeling a strange calm settle over her. The frightened cadet was gone. In her place stood a soldier ready to defend her people. Then it's time to show the galaxy what humans can really do, she said. The military transport ship hummed quietly as it approached Jupiter Station. Through the viewport, Lisa could see the massive gas giant, its swirling storms creating patterns of orange and cream. Surrounding the planet, tiny flashes of light marked ongoing battles between Earth and Vexian forces. Beautiful, isn't it? Lieutenant Parker said, joining Lisa at the window. Hard to believe we're fighting a war with that as the backdrop. Lisa nodded. Their squad had spent the past week training together, learning to access and control their enhanced abilities. Now, they were heading straight into the largest battle of the war so far. Mission briefing in 5 minutes, announced Captain Wells, their commanding officer. The 6 members of Talon Squad gathered around the holographic display in the ship's command center. Admiral Bennett's image appeared, his face looking even more tired than when Lisa had last seen him. Jupiter Station has been under attack for 3 days, Bennett explained. So far, our defenses are holding, but intelligence suggests the Vexians are planning something big. The display showed a Vexian research vessel that had been spotted near the outer moons of Jupiter. This ship, the Dominion, appears to be carrying something important. We've intercepted communications suggesting General Crone will board it personally within the next 12 hours. Captain Wells leaned forward. What's on the ship, sir? We don't know for certain, Bennett replied, but we believe it contains research data about humans. Your mission is to infiltrate the Dominion, secure that data, and find out exactly what the Vexians know about us. Lisa studied the ship's schematics. How do we get on board? A stealth shuttle will take you in under cover of the battle, Bennett said. From there, you'll have to move quickly. The Dominion isn't heavily armed, but it will be well protected by the Vexian fleet. The transport ship shuddered as it docked with Jupiter Station. Through the windows, Lisa could see soldiers rushing to defensive positions as alarms blared. Another attack coming, someone shouted. Perfect timing, Captain Wells said grimly. We'll use the battle as cover for our approach. Talon Squad moved. quickly to the launch bay where their stealth shuttle waited. Each member wore the new combat suits designed to enhance their natural abilities while providing protection. "Remember your training," Wells told them as they boarded. "Don't push your abilities too far too fast. Control is more important than raw power." The shuttle detached from the station and slipped away, its stealth systems making it nearly invisible against the darkness of space. All around them, Earth and Vexian ships exchanged fire, explosions lighting up the void. "Stay low," the pilot advised, skimming the shuttle beneath the main battle. They approached the Dominion, which floated at the edge of the conflict, guarded by 2 Vexian cruisers. "There's our window." Wells pointed to a gap between patrol patterns. "We'll have 30 seconds to dock before we're exposed." The shuttle accelerated, darting between debris from damaged ships. With a gentle thud, they connected to an emergency airlock on the Dominion's underside. "Cutting through now," Parker said, activating a plasma torch. Lisa checked her weapon, a new design that fired concentrated energy pulses. Her heart raced, but she felt strangely calm. The weeks of training had changed her, helping her channel the fear into focus. The airlock opened with a hiss, and Talon squad moved inside the Vexian vessel. The corridors were dimly lit with a reddish glow that Vexians preferred for their sensitive eyes. "Life signs?" Wells whispered. "Minimal crew," replied Specialist Cruz, checking a scanner. "Most are concentrated in the research section. 2 decks, down." They moved silently through the ship, their enhanced reflexes allowing them to avoid detection. When 2 Vexian guards appeared at a junction, Lisa and Parker neutralized them before they could raise an alarm. "This way," Cruz indicated, following the scanner. "Large data storage area ahead." The research section doors were locked, but the squad's tech expert, Lieutenant Mason, made quick work of the security. "I'm in," he whispered. "But there's something strange about this system. It's ancient by our standards." The doors slid open, revealing a large chamber filled with containers. At first, Lisa thought they were looking at weapons or technology. Then she realized what she was seeing. "Those are stasis pods," she gasped, "with humans inside them." Dozens of transparent chambers lined the walls, each containing what appeared to be a sleeping human. Monitors displayed biological data beside each pod. "Some of these people have been missing for decades," Cruz said, checking the identification data. "Colonists, explorers, civilians who disappeared near Vexian space." Captain Wells moved to a central console. "Mason, download everything you can find. We need to know what they've been doing here." As Mason worked, Lisa explored further into the chamber. At the far end, she found something that made her blood run cold. Tissue samples, thousands of them, carefully preserved and labeled. "Captain," she called out, "you need to see this." Wells joined her, his expression hardening as he understood. "They've been studying us, not just recently, for generations." Mason looked up from the console, his face pale. "I've got the files. It's worse than we thought. The Vexians have been abducting humans for over 100 years, studying our evolution, tracking our genetic changes." "Why?" Lisa asked. "Because they knew what we would become," said a familiar voice from behind them. They spun around to see General Crone standing in the doorway, his cybernetic arm glowing with energy. Behind him stood a squad of Vexian soldiers. "You humans adapt so quickly," Crone continued, stepping into the chamber. "While other species take thousands of years to evolve, you change in mere generations. The gravity of your world, the challenges of your environment. They have created something the galaxy has never seen before. A threat to your dominance," Wells said. "A threat to all established order," Crone corrected. "Imagine a species that can adapt to any environment, grow stronger with each challenge, and breed at remarkable rates. In a few centuries, you would overrun the galaxy." Lisa moved forward, her weapon raised. "So you decided to exterminate us before that could happen?" "We decided to study you first," Crone replied. "To understand the threat before eliminating it. This ship contains a century of research proving what humans would become. A plague upon the stars." "The slap," Lisa realized. "You provoked me on purpose." Crone's scaled face twisted into what might have been a smile. "Not precisely. I was testing. Human reflexes, yes, but I did not expect such strength from one so young. You accelerated our timeline, Cadet Reed. It's Lieutenant Reed now, she replied coldly. It won't matter soon, Crone said. The data from this ship is being transmitted to the Vexian fleet. Within hours, our full armada will arrive at Earth. We will end the human threat permanently. Without warning, Captain Wells lunged forward with enhanced speed, knocking 2 Vexian guards aside. The rest of Talon's squad followed, their combat training kicking in automatically. Lisa faced Crone directly, dodging a blast from his cybernetic arm. Your mistake was underestimating us, she said, moving faster than he could track. The chamber erupted into chaos as humans and Vexians fought. Despite being outnumbered, Talon Squad's enhanced abilities gave them an edge in the close quarters. Mason, Wells shouted over the noise. Is the data secure? Got it all, Mason replied, holding up a small device. Including their attack plans. For Earth. Lisa cornered Crone against a bank of equipment. The Vexian general fired his arm weapon repeatedly, but she moved with impossible speed, avoiding each blast. How? Crone demanded, frustration clear in his voice. How are you doing this? You studied us, Lisa replied, but you never understood us. Humans don't just adapt physically, we adapt in every way. Your threat made us stronger. With a quick movement, she disabled Crone's cybernetic arm, the weapon powering down with a whine. Talon Squad, we have what we came for, Wells ordered. Fall back to the shuttle. As they retreated, Mason activated a device that began transmitting the Dominion's research data to Earth forces. The galaxy needs to see this, he explained. Everyone needs to know what the Vexians have been planning. They fought their way back to the airlock, carrying the evidence of the Vexians' century-long deception. Behind them, alarms blared throughout. The ship. Will it make a difference? Lisa asked as they boarded the shuttle. It has to, Wells replied. This isn't just about humans and Vexians anymore. If the rest of the Alliance sees what they've been doing, kidnapping and experimenting on another species, it will change everything. The shuttle detached from the Dominion and accelerated away, weaving through the battle still raging around Jupiter. Lisa looked back at the research vessel, thinking of the humans still in stasis pods, the years of secret experimentation, and the war that had begun with a simple slap. The truth was now in their hands. The question was whether they could use it to stop a war that threatened to engulf the entire galaxy. The Situation Room at Earth Defense Headquarters was filled with military leaders and government officials. All eyes were fixed on the large screen displaying the data Talon Squad had recovered from the Vexian research vessel. This evidence is irrefutable, Admiral Bennett said, addressing the room. The Vexians have been studying humans in secret for over a century, preparing for a war they always intended to start. Lisa stood at attention beside Captain Wells, still wearing her combat suit from the mission. The past 48 hours had been a blur of debriefings and strategy meetings as Earth prepared for the coming Vexian assault. The transmission is ready, sir, a communications officer announced. Bennett nodded. Send it to every member of the Galactic Alliance and broadcast it on all open channels. The entire galaxy needs to see what the Vexians have been doing. On screen, the files from the Dominion began streaming to thousands of worlds. Images of captured humans, detailed genetic research, and most damning of all, the Vexian High Command's plans for the containment and elimination of the human evolutionary threat. Will it be enough? Lisa asked quietly. It has to be, Wells replied. We can't win this war alone. The hours that followed were tense as they waited for reactions from across the galaxy. Reports began coming in of ships belonging to other Alliance species withdrawing from Vexian battle groups. The Vexian propaganda machine worked overtime, claiming the evidence was fabricated, but the images of human captives were too powerful to dismiss. 3 days after the broadcast, a new alert sounded. Multiple ships dropping out of faster than light. Travel near Saturn, reported the sensor officer. Signatures match. They're Vexian battleships, a lot of them. The tactical display lit up with dozens of red markers approaching Earth's defensive line. This is it, Bennett said grimly. They're making their push before more of their allies desert them. Captain Wells turned to his squad. Talon team, you're being deployed to the front line. Your enhanced abilities make you our best defense against their elite forces. Lisa and her teammates boarded a combat transport bound for the massive space station orbiting Saturn. Through the viewport, she could see the gathered Earth fleet. Hundreds of ships formed into defensive patterns, preparing for the coming battle. I never imagined my life would lead here, Lisa said to Parker as they prepared their equipment, from cadet to soldier in just a few weeks. None of us did, he replied. But maybe we were always meant for this. Earth made us stronger for a reason. The station shook as the first Vexian ships came within range, their weapons firing from a distance. Earth vessels moved to intercept, and the void of space lit up with energy blasts and explosions. Admiral Bennett's voice came over the comm system. All units, hold the line. The Vexian flagship has been identified. General Crone is leading their assault personally. Lisa checked her combat suit one last time. The newest version had been improved based on data from their previous mission, allowing for even greater strength and speed. Talon Squad, Captain Wells ordered. Your mission is to board the Vexian flagship and capture General Crone if possible. His defeat could end this battle before we lose too many lives. They launched in a specialized boarding craft, designed to penetrate enemy shields. All around them, the battle raged with incredible ferocity. Lisa had never seen such destruction. Ships torn apart by weapons fire, escape pods jettisoning from damaged vessels, the silent explosions that marked the end of crews who couldn't evacuate in time. Target locked, their pilot announced, preparing to breach the Vexian flagship. The boarding craft accelerated toward the massive vessel at the center of the enemy fleet. Point defense weapons fired at them, but the pilot's enhanced reflexes allowed them to weave through the barrage. With a shuddering impact, they attached to the flagship's hull. Cutting torches burned through the outer plating, creating an entrance. "Go, go, go!" Wells shouted as the breach was completed. Talon Squad rushed into the Vexian ship, immediately engaging the security forces that responded to the intrusion. The humans moved with impossible speed, their enhanced strength allowing them to overcome the larger Vexian soldiers. "Command center is 3 decks up," Cruz reported, checking the ship's layout on his scanner. They fought their way through the corridors using their training and abilities to full advantage. When they reached the command deck, they found it heavily defended by elite Vexian guards. "Form up," Wells ordered. "Remember your training. Control, overpower." They advanced methodically, working as a team to overcome the superior numbers. Lisa felt a strange calm as she moved, her body responding perfectly to each threat. The weeks of intensive training had transformed her from a frightened cadet into a soldier who understood her own capabilities. Finally, they broke through to the main command center. Inside, General Crone stood before a tactical display, his cybernetic arm now upgraded with even more powerful weapons. "I knew you would come, Lieutenant Reed," Crone said without turning. "Our research predicted this level of audacity from humans." "It's over, General," Lisa replied, her weapon trained on him. "Your allies are deserting you. The galaxy knows what you've been planning." Crone turned slowly to face them. "Perhaps this battle is lost, but the war is far from over. The Vexian Empire has stood for 10,000 years. We will not be undone by upstart humans. You have a choice," Lisa said, taking a step forward. "Surrender now and end this conflict, or continue fighting and lose everything." Crone laughed, a harsh sound that echoed through the command center. "You still don't understand, do you? This was never about one battle or one war. This is about the future of the galaxy itself." He raised his cybernetic arm, energy building within the weapon. "If the Vexians cannot rule, then no one will." The arm pointed not at the humans, but at the ship's control systems. Lisa realized with horror what he intended: to destroy the flagship, taking hundreds of nearby vessels with it in the explosion. Without thinking, she moved faster than she ever had before, crossing the distance between them in a heartbeat. Just as Crone fired, she grabbed his cybernetic arm, forcing it upward. The energy blast hit the ceiling, ripping through metal but missing the critical systems. Crone roared in fury, trying to throw her off, but Lisa held firm. The cybernetic arm whined as it struggled against her grip. Impossible, Crone gasped. No human could be this strong. You studied us, Lisa replied. But you never understood. Us humans don't just evolve physically. We adapt mentally, emotionally, socially. Where you see only threat, we see possibility. With a precise movement, she disconnected the power source of the cybernetic arm, rendering it useless. The rest of Talon Squad secured the command center, disarming the remaining Vexian officers. General Crone, Captain Wells said formally, in the name of Earth and the Galactic Alliance, you are under arrest for crimes against sentient beings. Through the viewports, Lisa could see the battle shifting. Several Vexian ships had ceased firing, while others were retreating. On the communications channels, reports came in of more Alliance species joining Earth's defense. This is just the beginning, Crone warned as they led him away. My Emperor will never accept defeat. Maybe not, Lisa agreed, but he won't be fighting alone anymore. The news came 3 hours later, as they returned to Earth with their prisoner. Emperor Drax had been deposed by his own council, who immediately called for peace negotiations. The evidence of their secret human research program had turned, too, many of their allies against them. 1 month later, Lisa stood in the rebuilt hall of the Galactic Alliance Council. The chamber was packed with representatives from more species than she had ever seen gathered in one place. The war is officially over, announced the council elder. The peace treaty has been signed by all parties. Lisa looked across the chamber, to where the new Vexian representatives sat. They were younger, less militant than their predecessors. One of them caught her eye and nodded slightly, a small gesture of respect between former enemies. Commander Miller approached her after the ceremony. The academy is reopening next month, he said. We'd like you to return, not as a cadet, but as an instructor. Teaching what? Lisa asked. Understanding, Miller replied. Between species, between worlds. What started with a slap should end with handshakes. Lisa looked out at the stars, visible through the council chamber's dome. The galaxy seemed bigger now, filled with more possibility than danger. I'll do it, she said. But I have one condition. Name it, Miller said. The first class must include cadets from every species, including Vexians. If we're going to prevent another war, we need to start by understanding each other. Miller smiled. I think that can be arranged, Lieutenant Reed. Or should I say, Professor Reed. The galaxy had changed forever, because one human cadet had defended herself against an alien general. But now perhaps it had changed for the better.